everyone! Today I wanted to share with you a chapter from a new book called The Boy Who Made Everyone Laugh by Helen Rutter. I love this story because the main character is so funny and precocious, and he doesn't let his speech impediment stop him from doing the things he wants to do. So I'll read the back of the book and then I will read chapter 1. When life is funny, make some jokes about it. Billy Plimpton has a big dream to become a famous comedian when he grows up. He already knows a lot of jokes, but he thinks he has one big problem standing in his way: his stutter. At first, Billy thinks the best way to deal with this is to never say a word. That way, the kids in his new school won't hear him stammer. But soon he finds out that this is not the best way to deal with things. For one thing, it's very hard to tell a joke without getting a word out. As Billy makes his way towards the spotlight, a lot of funny things and some less funny things happen to him. In the end, the whole school will know. If you think you can hold Billy Plimpton back, be warned, the joke will soon be on you. So here's chapter 1 of The Boy Who Made Everyone Laugh by Helen Rutter. The past, the present, and the future walked into a bar. It was tense. Everything I say is important. Or at least that's what my mom tells me. Sometimes she makes me repeat it out loud. It's embarrassing. Saying anything out loud can be embarrassing when you're me. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm practicing over and over in the mirror. You'll find me here pretty often. It's where I do most of my chatting. Watching my eyes tighten to a close and my jaw tense up. My name is Billy Plimpton and I have a stutter. My name is Billy Plimpton, and I have a stutter. My name is Billy, and I have a stutter. If I don't stammer when I'm saying it, I go bright red, like I'm lying to my reflection. If I do get stuck, then I still go red because stuttering at yourself feels stupid. But my speech therapist once told me to practice, so I do. A lot. I only say this particular sentence on my own in my bedroom and never to real people. I wish I never had to explain that I've got something wrong with my speech. It helps when new people have already been told so they aren't left trying to figure out what's going on with me. Some people take ages. It's hard to watch them trying to control their expressions. So much going on in their eyes, wondering if it's all just a joke. I wish it was. That's the other thing I practice. Jokes. I love jokes. Using words differently, surprising people with a punchline, laughing at my own reflection. What did the llama say when he got kicked out of the zoo? Alpaca my bags. How can I be funny if I can't even speak? It's not easy to tell a joke when you can't get the words out. I ruin my own punchlines. It's very annoying. I spend hours watching comedians on YouTube. How smoothly they speak, how fast. The delighted audience. I try desperately to copy them. It's not always obvious that I have a stutter. Sometimes it just sounds like a big pause, and other times like I'm singing one word for a really long time for no reason whatsoever. Like I'm having a competition with myself to see how long I can draw one word out. This afternoon I got stuck on the words lemon drizzle for what seemed like forever. We were talking about our favorite cakes. The amount of time it took me to say it almost made me go off lemon drizzle cake a bit. Sometimes the words themselves annoy me when I get stuck badly, like they're doing it on purpose. My little sister Chloe's friend, Aisha, was over after school today. They galloped around the kitchen making clip-clop sounds. Chloe's obsessed with ponies. Her room makes me feel sick. There are so many stuffed toy ponies everywhere and horse posters on the walls. I'm a bit scared of horses, but I would never tell her that. I just don't go in there very often. Aisha hadn't been to our house before. She stayed over for dinner, and as we were eating, I sang my way through a new joke. Which hand is better to write with? This caused Aisha to ask, "Why do you talk like that?" As blunt as that, looking right at me over her fork full of spaghetti. So Chloe explained, he gets stuck on words. He knows what he wants to say, but his brain won't let it come out right. You just have to wait until he's finished. Aisha thought about it for a while and then sucked up her spaghetti and said, "I like it." So that was nice. She also laughed at my punchline. Neither. It's best to write with a pen. which was even nicer. At least Aisha was honest and just asked me the question. Kids are a bit better than grown-ups when they first meet me. They either ask straight out about my stutter, like Aisha, or they just completely ignore it. That's the best, when someone doesn't even seem to notice and waits until I'm done, knowing that I will get to the end eventually. Mom says a lot of the world's problems are caused by everyone being in such a rush, and that I'm doing everyone a favor by forcing them to be more patient. It's only when kids know what's going on with me that the problems can start. They realize they can use it against me or laugh at me. Most of the time, I just catch kids making funny faces at each other or giggling behind their hands as I'm trying to say something. And then there's the frowny, smiley face that adults have when I first speak to them, an upturned mouth and a wrinkled forehead. I hate it when people look at me like that. I want to make people smile completely, not in a frowny way. I can see the moment when it clicks, when they get it, that what they are hearing is a speech impediment and not a choice. They almost look relieved, pleased with themselves. Then they get to show off how good they are at dealing with such a thing. In my experience, there are 4 main categories of grown-ups. 1, the encouragers. They have calm, smiley expressions and constantly say things like, "Go on, interesting," and "I understand." Encouragers are okay, although they can be annoying when they go too far and say things like, "Take a big breath in," or "relax." Telling someone to relax when they are clearly struggling is like shouting, "Run faster," at someone being chased by a tiger. They would, if they could. 2, the mind readers. This is the most common category, and a very annoying one in my opinion. A lot of adults do this to kids anyway, even kids without a stutter, but they really do it to me. These are the adults who think they know exactly what I'm trying to say and helpfully finish my sentence for me. They usually say something completely wrong. Most of the time, I go along with their version of the conversation because I can't be bothered trying again. For example, an usher at the movie theater once thought I was going to ask, "Can you tell me where the restroom is?" when I was actually trying to say, "Can you tell me where the popcorn is?" She took me right to the restroom, even though there was a huge sign and an arrow, and it was so awkward that I thought I should go in even though I had no need. I didn't even end up buying the popcorn. I told Mom I'd changed my mind when I slid back into my seat, and she called me a strange fish. That's another thing that happens when you have a stutter. People think you're either slow or strange. 3, the jokers. This is the most upsetting category. The grown-ups who don't know what to do and decide to mimic me as a joke. Believe me, this happens more than you would think. The other day, I went to the shop and had to ask an old man in a brown cap to get something off the top shelf for me. He responded by saying, yes, of course I can," and then laughed at how funny he thought he was. I'm not sure why any grown-up would do this. It's almost too confusing to be upsetting. I still felt bad though. 4, the waiters. The best category and the one you should try to be a part of, should you meet someone who stutters. These are the rare people who don't mind waiting and will stay there for as long as it takes for me to spit out whatever piece of information I'm stuck on. Usually a new joke. You could be waiting a long time until I get the end of a new one-liner. That's kind of how it works. The more I want to say something, the less my voice allows me to say it. It's like a sick joke. Obviously, some waiters are not so good. You wouldn't believe how obvious it is when someone's waiting, but they don't really want to be. That's tough. I want to say to them, "Don't worry, just go and do whatever it is that you would rather be doing. This is no fun for either one of us." But I don't, because that would take even longer than whatever it is I'm stuck on. If only I could be normal. Then starting Bannerdale would be easy. I'm going to try everything I can think of to get rid of the stammer and become just like everybody else. Maybe even better than everybody else. Imagine that. I could be the most popular boy in school. You know that Billy Plimpton? He's the best, and he's so funny. Yes, everyone wants to be friends with Billy Plimpton. I think he's going to be famous. Tell us another joke, Billy. Go on. Everyone will crowd around me at lunchtime, desperately wanting to be my friend, eagerly listening to my jokes, if I can get rid of my stammer. I don't want to think what it will be like at Bannerdale if I can't. Tomorrow, I have to somehow make it through my first day at Bannerdale. If only there was a way to avoid speaking. Maybe I can communicate entirely through mime, like Charlie Chaplin. I'm sure that would go down well with a bunch of angry teenagers, miming, "Please don't hurt me, I'm small and weak," as they crush me into a locker. At least I'm starting from scratch in a whole new place. Maybe it will be totally different, and I'll make loads of friends and no one will even find out that I have a stammer. Or there will just be even more kids there to laugh at me than there were at elementary school. At least in elementary school, everyone kind of got used to me. My voice was normal to them, so I could forget about it most of the time. Mrs. Jackson, my teacher, was okay too. She always called on the same people to answer questions, which I liked because I wasn't one of them. And she didn't care when I was drumming with pencils on my knees, unlike Mr. Alsop the year before. He hated it. "Billy Plimpton for the 10th time today. Stop that noise." 5th grade was the best because I was the oldest. Not the biggest, I'm tiny, but the oldest at least. None of the kids from the year above were there anymore, shoving me in the lunch line. It was great. My biggest fear about Bannerdale is everyone laughing at me. I want them to laugh with me, at my jokes, not at me. But I can't even tell them any jokes until my stammer is gone. If I did, they'd be laughing for the wrong reason. I would be the punchline. They can't laugh at my voice if they don't hear it, though, can they? That's why I'm going to try my hardest to keep quiet, not say a word until I've made my way through the list, until my stammer is gone. And then I won't be Billy Plimpton, the boy who stammers. I'll be Billy Plimpton, the funniest boy in school. Wish me luck! And that is chapter 1 of The Boy Who Made Everyone Laugh by Helen Rutter. Thanks for watching. See you next time.